we're going to take a look at mock draft, and I know you're updating it, and you released one this morning that's going to be a little different, but let's look at what you had here. You had Travis Hunter going number 2 overall, then Jalen Milroe, Caleb Johnson, Gunnar Helm, and Barrett Carter. So again, those are guys that threaten a defense in Hunter, Milroe, Johnson, and Helm. Those are all guys that threaten a defense.
Right. And for this particular Browns mock, what I decided to do was I wanted to go through the scenario what happens if you don't go with Shedeur Sanders second overall. I mean, that's the scenario I personally would still go with, but I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of, okay, what if this doesn't happen? What do the Browns do then? And that's why I went Travis Hunter second overall. I think he's the best playmaker, outs. He's definitely a dynamic playmaker, right on the same level, I think, with Abdul Carter. And with Hunter, excuse me. I know Andrew Berry spoke at the combine about how he sees Hunter as a receiver. I don't doubt it. I think that people say there's a lot of Odell Beckham Jr. to his game. I think when you take a player as athletically gifted as Hunter, who played 100+ snaps a game, was high end, was extremely productive, both the corner and a receiver, and you have him specialize in one or the other, that's only going to make him even better going forward. So that's why I kind of went with him there at number 2 in this mock. And 33, I simply had to get a quarterback, and for me, it's Jalen Milroe. For me, he's my quarterback number 3 ahead of Jackson Dart. We'll talk about Dart in a little bit. The problem I realized with him, and that's kind of really souring me on Jackson Dart a little bit. But with Milroe, even before his pro day when he ran sub 4.40. I think with Milroe, any of those concerns you have about certain, inaccuracy, especially in the fourth quarter of games, I think that boils down to he needs to really hone in on his mechanics, the attention to detail, as far as understanding, you have to have your mechanics properly intact every single time you throw the football. And there were times where that got away from him, where he didn't quite have that form that he needed to have every single pass. That's something I imagine he's seems like he's been working on through the offseason. And he's a guy where if you draft him, I feel like if you draft Jalen Milroe, you pretty much have to do everything in your power to not let him play the field until he's beyond ready to go. Because I feel like you throw him out there before everything else is kind of in place as far as molding him and coaching him up. I think you're kind of setting yourself up for failure instead of giving Milroe a chance to succeed when he has everything down. Also in the third round, Caleb Johnson, I really liked him as a running back. There's a really deep running back class, and Johnson is a guy who's got a chance to be a powerful guy who gets chunk runs. Gunnar Helm, the tight end from Texas, did not have a good combine. Reason for that was when he ran the 40-yard dash, he had a false start, and he sprained his ankle, and he still ran the 40 on it later on. So I think you can pretty much throw those results out with Gunnar Helm. All I've ever seen him do is be productive, particularly this season in Michigan. I mean, at Texas, excuse me. The Michigan game is one that really stood out for me with Helm. And with Barrett Carter, I figure, with the questions with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah's long-term health, the unfortunate neck injury he suffered, I think you want to give yourself some cover there just in case JOK can't come back to being the same player was or anything significant. And I think Carter's a guy who's got 3 down potential as a linebacker.